Hey guys, Jay here, and today we're taking a look at EarthSpark Thrash. Now this is not a figure I would generally go out of my way to buy. However, I was going around to every single Target in the state of South Carolina looking for the new Bumblebee Optimus Prime Studio Series release, and I saw this figure at about every store I went to. I still didn't want to pick it up. The first one I finally cracked. I did not find any Optimuses, and I was like, okay fine, I'll get Thrash. I'll buy Thrash. And the exact Thrash I was holding had a enormous scuff in the center of his chest, his headlight in the motorcycle mode, and I just was not having it with that one, so I was like, okay, I won't buy anything at this Target. We keep going to other Targets. I eventually find the new Jungle Mission 3-pack with Mirage, Air and Bumblebee. Thank God I found something, am I right? And I then found another Thrash that was not scuffed. The box might have been crushed, but the figure was perfect, so I bought it. And lo and behold, I have found a figure that I have an opinion on. So let's get in to EarthSpark Thrash. So first thing first with Thrash, he is in the cheaper Transformers EarthSpark line. He is not in the traditional Warrior or Deluxe class like Twitch or Bumblebee, or just Twitch and Bumblebee that I can think of. Those are the only two that I own. He is in this more gimmick-oriented figures where like Elita has a small gun that flips into a big gun, or Optimus has an axe that flips out. But Thrash here does not have any of those gimmicks. He, honestly, I like more than Bumblebee and Twitch, and I had to pay less for him, which I am always really happy about. And first of all, this figure looks really good. I do think it is a good-looking figure. The head sculpt is great. There's a lot of paint on it. He has not too much paint all around, but it's really not that big of a deal, because like where the paint is where it needs to be to make it look good. His headlight is painted, his face is fully painted, even the goggles, which looks amazing. I really like those goggles. Like, those are very, very good looking. I like that aspect of Thrash's design. And if we move down, I mean, well, before moving down, he does have painted shoulders, which are painted silver and black, even though the entire shoulder unit is molded in dark green, similar to his arm. Well, the entire arm is dark green, so that's why. And moving down on Thrash, he has some good sculpt work in his torso. His arms do look pretty good, unpainted obviously, but that's not a big deal. He has painted upper waist area, upper thigh, painted coils going down his thighs, which look amazing, and painted inner knee, which is strange if you ask me. Why would they paint the inner knee? I don't know. It's probably super accurate to the show, I'm sure. I haven't watched too much of it, only the first 2 episodes, not a big deal. But this figure amazes me not because of how exactly it looks, or, you know, it's not like blowing you away in the looks department, but mainly because of just what you can do with this figure. It's awesome. The posability is really a step above what I expect from a figure at this price point. So getting into that, he at his head, he does only have a rotation, which is a huge bummer, and just put a ball joint there. Anyways, on his arms, he has ball joint shoulders, which are great. You can go in, out, up, all the way around, like so. He has a ball joint at the elbow, which is not bad. I don't mind it for a figure at this scale. And he does not have any wrists, which is not a big deal. But due to transformation, he does have a forwards butterfly. And you can make him look very buff with that forwards butterfly. It looks very cool. And if you don't want to go too far to untab the chest, you can still get a pretty good forward butterfly with that. And then also due to transformation, if you just untab this back part, you can give him an ab crunch. A very, very big ab crunch. He can completely sit down from his abs, which is not a thing most people can do, I'd like to say. I can't do it. Going down, he has a waist rotation due to transformation. You can't complain, though. It is probably one of the highlights of the figure. Really gives him a lot of life, breathes life in the figure. Ball-jointed legs, just standard, exactly what you'd expect. No upper thigh rotation, which does kind of irk me a little, just because you could get him into so much more dynamic poses if you had that. Going down to the knee, though, I do find it kind of weird. It can go a little under a 90 due to the wheel being here from transformation, which is fine. But also, so I keep the wheel down here, so it's out of the way more, but his knee does not line up with his other part of his leg, because I think they want you to do it like this. I think they want you to have the knee, or the wheel, completely straight out to the back, which I am not a fan of. I think that looks silly. You can even go as far as to have it up like this, and give him a little bit of chicken leg, which if you want to do that, it's kind of cool, right? No, I'm kidding. Anyways, yeah, that he does have just a single knee, but a double jointed knee the other way. So yeah, that's cool, right? His feet are there. It does stand pretty well if you have him in, like, you know, a balanced pose. I have trouble standing him on my table because my table is not a hard surface, but that's a me problem. One thing I do really like about this figure that you can do, it's very fun, is you can half transform him into many other configurations. If you wanted to bring the legs up like you were transforming him. I am breaking the figure? Oh my gosh. Why only on camera? That hasn't happened. That is not a QC problem with mine. I just did that because I'm dumb. If you half transform the legs like so, bringing them up like they would be transforming into his full mode, you can give him some RC skids. You can do that. Look at that. You can roll. Move this down a little. He can roll. You can skate around. Isn't that cool? Isn't that very interesting? Oh yeah, and if you keep half transforming him, by half I mean just basically half of the entire thing, you can get him into like this kind of a configuration. It's kind of weird. Turn it this way, and you get some motor. You know that one Allstate or Progressive ad? I don't remember. So yeah, you can be riding around like this, doing the Akira slide with his body. Before I go too far into transformation, as I have literally done half of it, he does have an accessory, a weapon. This is his weapon in robot mode. This is what it is. It has a little machine gun here and a scope, and you can peg it into his hand or into his arm. Also, very small note here. The way that this transforms itself, this wheel comes in and out, it does need to be lined up with one of these smaller holes, or else it will just kind of rotate on his arm. So you need to make sure it's snapped like that. And then you can just, boom, snap it on his arm like so. And then, I mean, it's alright. It's an alright weapon. If you don't want it to stay on his arm, you can ignore what I've half transformed. You can come back here and just peg it onto his back, which, you know, gives him a little bit of a backpack, a little more. Well, he only had like a small one before, but now it's kind of a big one, like he's going on a longer trip. Anyways, yeah, that's mainly his robot mode, but since we're already half transforming, why not go the rest of the way? Take this off of his back. And just bring the legs together like so. And I think the transformation is fun. It's pretty cool. Bringing this backpack down into here. And then all we gotta do is bring his chest up. And bring this little panel back here up also. Snapping those two together. And then that pegs into the back of his head. Then we bring the whole torso down. It does not peg in. And then we just bring the arms in like so. And then we make his hands grab onto himself, like here. And for a quick size comparison, here's Thrash next to Legacy Transmetal 2 Megatron and Pringle's new Enchilada Adobada. So here we have Thrash in his vehicle mode, and I can't even lie about this, his vehicle mode is a motorcycle. I do not think it is a particularly good motorcycle. It does the job for a vehicle mode. I do think this figure really benefits from this vehicle mode, however. I think it is, in robot mode, it is great that it is this vehicle specifically. But honestly, just as a vehicle, as a motorcycle on its own, I think it is a little wonky. You can see that it is completely like symmetrical front to back. You can see there where his legs, his feet meet in the middle from transformation right there. And on the top, you can see where his arms go. They are not hidden at all. He's just grabbing his own bosom. And my main gripe about this, really, I could overlook those other parts, but this head, the head is just, it's just right here. It's sticking out. He's just looking at the ground while he's driving. I don't understand. I mean, it's relatively smooth on this side, and I do like the top, and I like how the handlebars come out during transformation connected to the arms. It's pretty cool. Along with the front of the motorcycle, it's a nice look. I like that style. But when you go to this side, you can see that, first of all, the weapon storage, which I do think is some pretty good weapon storage. It's a sidecar, and it is a sidecar. I cannot say anything else about that. It's a pretty perfect sidecar for being a sidecar. But if we remove said sidecar, we can see here that this side is almost completely hollow. And that is not a problem in robot mode. You don't really see the inside of the legs. But here, it is an entire half of the vehicle mode, the entire side of it. And there is a kickstand. If you see this here kickstand. And it's kind of hard to get out. Okay, I just ripped the whole thing out, but we're just going to put it back in right here. It doesn't work. It's for show. It's a faux kickstand, except that it is completely functional and a piece that they put on the figure. It doesn't do anything, sadly. I am kind of annoyed by that, but Otherwise, this is a pretty good motorcycle. It's really, really thin on the bottom, actually. Besides the problems I've said, it is, in fact, a motorcycle. You just can't look at it any other way. It does the job. It is a convincing transformation, except for that head. I can't even lie about it. For what you're paying for, this is a really good vehicle mode. And I'm just going to put the sidecar back on so it'll stand up and I can stop waving my hand around if it's all the place. And also, kind of cool thing in vehicle mode you can do is, so here's the scope from when it was in a weapon, but you can still do the exact same thing that you did in robot mode, and just flip that bad boy around, and now it is a militarized motorcycle. Isn't that interesting? Whoa, it's back in robot mode. How did that happen? Anyways, thank you guys for watching my review of EarthSpark Thrash. I do think this is a pretty good figure, definitely worth the lower price point of this style of figure. Make sure yours isn't scratched in the box. Very easy to scratch in the box. I hate open box packaging. I like the closed one more. No plastic needed for the closed one, but the open packaging is very bad. It scratches the figure, makes it really easy to steal. I've seen plenty of missing skull crunchers from the Rise of the Beasts movie in my Target. But yeah, this figure has a pretty fun transformation, kind of an ugly vehicle mode, and a really posable, for what it is at least, robot mode. And I do think it is a good find, good pickup, if you're in the mood just for a fun figure that you can play with and do some fun stuff with. It's not going to blow you away, probably, but I was just really impressed by it. Honestly, I think it's a pretty good figure. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say. So rate, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.